Welcome back to Travel Secrets with TV's Dave Galvan. I'm TV's Dave Galvan, and today we're going to talk about something that seems simple but has the power to completely derail a vacation before it even begins, and that's packing. Now, packing isn't exactly the most exciting part of travel. Most people spend months dreaming about their destination, researching all the attractions and counting down the days until the departure. Then suddenly it's the night before the trip and they're throwing clothes into a suitcase, hoping they didn't forget anything. And unfortunately, the last minute approach is often where travel problems begin. I'm one of those people. I usually wait till the very last minute to pack. It's just what I do. One of the biggest packing mistakes travelers make is simply bringing just too much stuff. And it sounds harmless, but overpacking can turn a relaxing vacation into a frustrating experience because we've all seen travelers drag enormous suitcases through airports, onto cruise ships, and across cobblestone streets in Europe. And every extra pound becomes something you have to lift, carry, and manage throughout their journey. The other day I was in a thrift store here in my hometown of Oregon City, and I was just looking around and I noticed they had for sale this old steamer trunk. It looked to be about 100 years old. It was one of those old trunks that you would literally use as a suitcase as you were going from Europe to America or vice versa on a ship because, of course, there was no plane travel back then. It was so cool, and I would have bought it if it wasn't $150. You know, just to put in a corner and sit there and gather dust because it was just so cool. Someone had even put a bar of soap in one of the drawers just to help with the smell of their clothing. I mean, it was just, this thing was a time capsule. So the truth is that most people wear only a fraction of what they pack. They bring 10 outfits for a 7-day trip, and they end up wearing the same comfortable clothes repeatedly. So instead of packing for every possible scenario, pack for the vacation you're actually taking. Most destinations have stores like laundromats and pharmacies. If you forget something minor, chances are you can buy it when you arrive. I always forget either my toothbrush or my toothpaste or even my razor. On the other hand, some travelers make the opposite mistake. They pack too little and fail to prepare for changing conditions. This is especially common on cruises and international trips. The traveler headed to Alaska may focus on cold weather and forget that sunny afternoons can be surprisingly warm. Someone heading to the Caribbean may forget that restaurants often have dress codes in the evening. Packing smart means thinking about the activities you'll actually be doing and planning accordingly. Another vacation-ruining mistake is failing to pack essential medications. I'm the dummy who once forgot his insulin, even though I'm diabetic, and my wife had to scramble and spend every dime she had paying cash for insulin while we were down in California in Disneyland. That actually happened. And I hear about other stuff like this all the time. Travelers will remember their swimsuits, sunglasses, and souvenirs, but somehow leave behind my prescription medication that I had to take twice a day. Depending on where you're traveling, replacing those medications can be difficult, expensive. Fortunately for me, it wasn't impossible, but some medications will be impossible. So always pack your medications in your carry-on luggage, never your checked bag. If an airline loses your suitcase, you don't want to lose access to everything, including your medication as well. I also recommend carrying a small list of prescriptions and important medical information, just in case you need assistance while traveling. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked items in travel, which is documents. Nothing creates panic faster than arriving at the airport realizing your passport is sitting on your kitchen table. I mean, it sounds unbelievable, but it happens more often than you might think. I've heard stories of travelers discovering their mistakes only after reaching the airport parking lot. Before any trips, verify that your passport is valid, check expiration dates, and make sure you know where important travel documents are located. If you're traveling internationally, many countries require your passport to remain valid for several months beyond your travel dates. Waiting until the very last minute to check can create major problems. Another common mistake is putting everything valuable into your checked luggage. We're talking electronics, medications, passports, wallets, jewelry, important documents. Those need to stay with you and never leave your side. Airlines do an incredible job moving millions of bags every year, but luggage does get delayed and human mistakes are going to happen. If your checked suitcase arrives a day or two late, you're going to want everything essential with you. And speaking of electronics, forgetting chargers has become one of the modern travel's biggest headaches. Years ago, travelers worried about forgetting guidebooks. Today, people panic when their phone battery drops below 20%. Phones contain boarding passes and maps and hotel confirmations, restaurant reservations, and emergency contacts. Forgetting a charging cable can suddenly become a major inconvenience. I always recommend carrying a small travel electronics pouch containing chargers, cables, adapters, and a portable battery pack. Keeping everything together makes it easier to stay organized and avoid last-minute scrambling. So let's discuss the weather, because weather-related packing mistakes happen constantly. And this is something a lot of people make, including yours truly. Many travelers look at the forecast once and assume that's all they need to know. And then, of course, conditions change. A rainy day appears, temperatures just drop unexpectedly, and suddenly they are stuck buying overpriced clothing at a tourist shop because they didn't bring a lightweight jacket or an umbrella. Checking the weather forecast is important, but packing flexible layers is even more important. Layers allow you to adjust to changing conditions without overpacking. A lightweight jacket can save on a vacation when temperatures unexpectedly drop. Another major packing mistake involves shoes. People often buy new shoes right before a trip and assume they're going to be fine. Then they spend 8 hours walking through Rome, London, or New York and discover that those shoes aren't nearly as comfortable as they even expected. So vacations often involve far more walking than everyday life. The shoes that you bring should already be broken in and comfortable. No destination is enjoyable when you're dealing with painful blisters every day. And here's another mistake I see frequently. Travelers fail to leave room for souvenirs. They pack their suitcase to maximum human capacity before they leave home. Then they buy gifts, clothing, artwork, or other items during their trip and discover they have nowhere to put them. Leaving a little extra space can save a lot of frustration later. Some travelers even pack a foldable bag specifically for bringing home purchases. And one of the most expensive mistakes travelers make is ignoring the baggage rules. Every airline has a different policy regarding size, weight, and fees. A suitcase that works perfectly on one airline could trigger an additional charge on another, and those fees will add up quickly, especially for families. Before you travel, take a few minutes to verify baggage policies. It's going to save you money and eliminate unpleasant surprises at the airport. Perhaps the biggest packing mistake of all is the packing stress, because believe it or not, many travelers become so obsessed with having everything perfect that they create the unnecessary anxiety before the trip even begins. They spend days worrying about every possible situation, even weather and every item that they might need. The reality is that no packing list is perfect, hold on, I'm thirsty. Even the most experienced travelers occasionally forget something. The good news is that most travel problems are very solvable. If you forget toothpaste, you can buy toothpaste. If you forget a shirt, you can buy a shirt. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is just preparation. The best travelers understand that packing is simply one step in the journey. They focus on the experiences ahead rather than worrying about every possible scenario. A little planning does go a long way, but flexibility matters just as much. At the end of the day, vacations are not ruined because someone forgot an extra pair of socks. Vacations are ruined when stress takes over. Just pack smart, pack light, keep the essentials close. Remember why you're traveling in the first place. You're there to create memories and explore new places and just enjoy experiences that you'll remember long after the suitcase has been unpacked. Well, thank you for joining me on Travel Secrets with TV's Dave Galvan. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button and, of course, like and follow for more travel trips, destinations, inspiration, and personalized vacation travel. Until next week, travel smart, travel often, and make memories worth bringing home. We'll see you next week.